Toastmasters, which is Advanced Communicator Bronze, and he also has his Advanced Leadership Bronze, which is actually, I think, a little harder to get. So it's very exciting that he has those credentials. His speech is called The Secret. First, listen. His speech will be 8 to 10 minutes. And Tom says, 25 years in the business world, 15 plus years of Toastmastering, and 5 years of servant leadership. And he still doesn't know it all yet. Yet he is passionate about helping others reach greater heights. Tonight, he returns to the 4-H to give us specific strategies that you can start using tomorrow to be a better communicator and evaluator. So sit up, take notes, and be inspired by Tom Gill. Did you want me to? You got it. Oh, yeah. Very good.
Thank you, Joanne. Good evening, everyone. Junior Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. In the next 8 to 10 minutes, you're going to pick up the 3 C's, I call the 3 C's to effective evaluations that I've used over the years to coach and train people. So to start off, I have a question for you, and that is, have you ever wondered how teenagers like you improve your speaking evaluations? Have you? Please take the next 30 to 60 seconds to collaborate with your neighbor and come up with 2 ideas on how you can become a better speaker with the evaluations.
Evaluations as far as evaluating speaking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you'll be evaluating, he wants, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I want everybody to just pair up and just come up with a couple of 2 ideas on how you think you can improve your speaking evaluations.
Since you're doing that, you can, I can do that. Yeah. Or not, we can do the 3-way here. You 2, okay? Talk about how you can improve your evaluating skills, or I can just talk to you for when you evaluate, you want to make sure that you encourage them. That's one of the things that I think. How do you think that you can make it better when you're telling someone an evaluation? Absolutely, very good. Did you read? Well, you're not good.
Do you want me to turn this on?
Okay, we ready to bring it back? Okay, so what ideas did you come up with? Raise your hands and share. Yes?
Education.
Education, what do you mean? Can you expand?
Being able to speak accurately about what you're speaking about, if that makes sense.
Okay, sure, absolutely. Who else? Yes?
Practice.
Practicing. Absolutely. This is the laboratory, right? Every single week we're here. Who else? Yes?
Give full attention.
Give full attention. Absolutely. Anyone else? Yes?
Know your strengths and your weaknesses.
Know your strengths and your weaknesses. Absolutely, yes.
Clarity.
Clarity. All good answers. All good answers. So what I want to do tonight is share with you the 3 C's to effective evaluations that I developed. Many of you joined Junior Toastmasters because, well, let's be honest, you had to, right? But you also are intrigued and interested in becoming a better speaker, right? A better communicator. So tonight you're going to walk away with some tips and ideas on how to do that. And I'll bet you didn't realize that some of the skills and knowledge that you take away from Junior Toastmasters, you can use out there in the real world, right? Job interviews, college interviews, speaking up in class, presentations in class, right? So all the tips that you learn through this program are going to be invaluable for you. So the first C deals directly with the criteria or the job to be done. And specifically with your program, you have specific criteria that you use for each of the speeches, your icebreaker, and so on. So what you want to do, and a best practice, is to look at the criteria. And again, we talked about clarity. Look at the criteria for what it is. And you're not going to judge the speaker on the criteria, but you're going to look at the criteria for what it is on face value and see how the speaker matched up to that criteria. So you don't want to repeat the content or repeat the story of the speech, but you really want to focus on how the speech impacted you, what your reactions are to the content, how it moved you. Now I have another question for you. How many of you have a Facebook account? Raise your hand. About half of you, okay. And what happens when people like your posts? Yes?
You get happy.
You get happy. You feel good, right? What else?
It's a number on the side of the post.
It's a number, right? So the more likes you have, the more people are
How
liking
many
it.
people on my
Right.
Facebook and their family
Okay,
try to keep up.
excellent. So think about when you evaluate the criteria, the likes are those that are going to help the speaker improve and help you improve as well. Ready for the second C? The second C is coach. Now when you think about coaching, and in Toastmasters we hear a lot, or a fair amount, about whitewashing. Does anybody know what the term whitewashing means? Yes?
I think I have an idea, like, you mean as the Weight Watchers, correct?
Whitewashing.
Whitewashing, sorry.
Yes.
Didn't hear you well.
That's okay. Well, whitewashing is, after you hear the speech, you just give everything's positive. There's no coaching points. Everything, they hit the mark on all levels, and there's no constructive feedback. So we really frown upon that because there's probably one or two things, even if it was a perfect speech, that there were a couple things that they probably could have done better. So you want to be careful with that. And a technique that we use in Toastmasters, and really it's used in the business world as well, is called the sandwich technique. And here's what I mean with that. You start off with positive points, and coaching points, and then you end with two more positive points. So for example, the first two positive points could be, you had a good use of questions in your speech. I really liked that. Or you had a very clear message. Your message was clear throughout the speech. And then the coaching points could be, try to use more pauses because I heard a lot of ums and ahs. Another coaching point could be, watch your pace, because I realized that during the speech, during the last part of the speech, you hurried up your pace, and it was a fast pace, so maybe slow the pace down a little bit. And then when you end with more positives, for example, you showed us a step-by-step process, which was helpful. It helped me understand that. And you had good organization. You had a clear beginning, a strong body, your 2 or 3 points, and then a strong close. And when you end with a positive like that, what does it do for your peers? Yes?
Makes them feel better about themselves.
It makes them feel better. It gives them energy. It uplifts them. So think about this as you're going through the evaluation. And I know Joanne said that you can walk on it, or you can have these tips, start using these tips tomorrow. You can actually use these tips tonight with your evaluations. Here's another idea to use as you're using this sandwich technique. So during the actual speech, you can take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and on the left side, Write liked or like. And on the right side, put your coaching points. So you're going to put all the information on the left-hand side. So the number of things that really excited you, that you liked, that you thought were very good in the speech. And then on the right-hand side, those coaching points. What you felt that they could have done better to make the speech better. And overall here, again, you're not evaluating the content. You're not necessarily even agreeing with the content. You're looking more about the delivery and what you liked, how it moved you, how you felt about the speech, and how you react to the speech. So just a quick recap. Our first C is criteria. Second C is coach. Now on to the third C. Third C is change. You're here every week. You're going to see change in yourselves. You're going to see change in others. This process that I'm going through will help you do that. Because positive change is a good thing, right? And when your peers receive that positive feedback from you, guess what? It makes them better. And it makes you better because your critical listening skills are engaged. So as we wrap up, we have time for 3 or 4 questions. What questions do you have? Yes?
What makes you come up with the 3 C's?
Good question. So I am listening to a program today that is called Create Your Killer Keynote. And it's by Craig Valentine. You can Google this guy. He's real. Craig Valentine is the 1999 world champion of public speaking. So he knows his stuff, and I like his stuff. So he talks about creating, and he has different programs, the 4 G's to greatness, and a number of other programs. So it helps the audience understand and remember more when you use an acronym or use a story like he does. So, good question. Yes?
How can you be like the champion of public speaking? Like, how would you compete with other people?
Good question. So the whole process actually starts at the club level. And our club, we start our contest next month. So the winners of the club, they go on to the division, then the district, or the area rather, the area, the division, then the district, and then the regionals, and then it culminates at the Toastmasters International Conference, which is held during the summertime. So there's literally thousands and thousands of people in this competition. And believe it or not, the person that won last year, 25 years old. That's pretty impressive. So, but guess what? They start out at the club level, or if they were lucky enough to be in a junior Toastmasters program, they start out there. So nobody's born a perfect speaker or the ultimate speaker. I mean, we all have gifts, right? But they start out where you and I start out. So, good question. Yes, any other questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you for those questions. So remember, when you think of helping your peers, think of the 3 C's, which are criteria, coach, and change. And finally, when you walk out here tonight, think about this Turkish proverb, which states, if speaking is silver, then listening is gold. Go for the gold. Madam Toastmaster.